Okay, here we go. Alright, hello. Hello. It's not such a busy night tonight. There's only like the four of us, and sometimes we had 10 last week, didn't we? Gladys is away tonight, so she won't be here. Steve Wordsmith, he's off visiting his family, so he won't be neither. And but anyway, I've still got a bit to read out to you, regardless. A bit of poetry. What about, have you got some to do tonight, Mark?
I do, and it's none of it's mine.
All right.
Yeah.
I've also got one of Jan Kropp, isn't it? That's her name? Jan? Yeah. Jan Crab. Jan Carp, that's it. Yeah, because she's running for councillor, Urella, but anyway, I won't do any further advertising.
I'm missing.
And Ashley, of course.
Yeah, Ashley.
I've got some.
Yeah.
I've got a sort of an outpouring from John and Nano.
Oh, wonderful.
And what about Chris and his mum Trish?
I don't know.
Haven't seen.
All right, but we've also got an audience in Facebook, so we're live here now.
Excellent.
So let's get the show on the road, and I'll begin by welcoming everybody and acknowledgement of country, and that we're on Kamilaroi, Banby Land, just up the road, and acknowledge all the continuing connection of elders past, present and emerging, and their continuing connections to the land, and acknowledge sovereignty's never been ceded. And with that, I'm going to start with one from, and this is a warning that I'm going to mention someone who's passed away's name for cultural purposes, Udru Nunakul from Minjerribah, the island just off Mianjin up there in, not the Queensland, in other words, in colonial speak, from Stradbroke Island off Brisbane. Udru Nunakul, this is municipal gum. Gum tree in the city street. Hard bitumen around your feet. Rather, you should be in the cool world of leafy forest halls and wild bird calls. Here, you seem to me like that poor cart horse, castrated, broken, a thing wronged, strapped and buckled, its held prolonged, whose hung head and listless mien express its hopelessness. Municipal gum, it is dolorous to see you thus set in your black grass of bitumen. Oh, fellow citizen, what have they done to us?
Yeah, I never met her. People who did always would speak of her.
Amazing.
You met her? Oh,
Amazing piece of poetry regardless, well, like that.
Oh, she's wonderful. Have you got a couple more?
Not from her, but that, I do actually. No, I don't have it here at the moment. Next one I'm going to do is by Nola Gregory, and this was downloaded from the creativespirits.info website, Aboriginal culture /art/poems/songlines, and this one is called Songlines by Nola Gregory. Come with us on a journey through land and sea and time. Follow our dreaming tracks. Listen carefully. Look for signs. You'll feel them in your spirit as they weave into your soul. Songlines, our ancestral story, are alive and strong and bold. They created for us the rivers, the trees, and all their girth, spreading out our storylines as they walked upon the earth. They are for us a legacy, our connection to our land. They are seen through our existence as we walk upon ochre and sand. So listen very carefully now. As you walk upon our land, let it seep into your spirit as we take you by the hand. We'll lead you to our dreaming, and we'll sing you songs of old, and through dance and art recorded, our ancestral story is told. For 60,000 years it's been our heart, our spirit, our song, something for us to be proud of. It's our existence. It's where we belong. We follow in the footsteps of our ancestral beings. We follow along our song lines and our journey to our dreaming. All right.
It reminded me of being in Carnarvon Gorge.
Oh yeah, it's like this.
Just takes you to the land. It took me out of this place for sure. Now, it's talking about song lines on a totally different genre. The Armadale Chamber Choir, Fiore Musicali, will be playing here on December the 11th at 3 p.m. That's a Saturday, and it's in Latin, pure natus est, which is like pure born is pure born. It's a chorale, it's a concert of chorale and instrumental music for the Christmas season, presented by Fiore Musicali, the Armadale Chamber Choir and Ensemble. There's over 30 singers and I think a 5-piece chamber orchestra with them. And that's on Saturday, December 3rd here, 3 p.m. Saturday, December 11th here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. And I'll also put in a plug for the next day, 3 p.m. Sunday, the 12th of December at Taz Hoskins Centre at Armadale. So the Armadale School Hoskins Centre, you can also see them on the Sunday at 3 p.m.
Oh.
Tickets are $30 and for adults and $25 for a concession. I'm not sure what they classify as a concession. You can get tickets online by www.trybooking.com/BVFEX. Otherwise, I'll put the link in the description on the comments later on today, or you can check out the Facebook page there for the event if you want as well, and that's where there's a link to the tickets. So check out the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame in Gyra's Facebook page. Also check out the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame on YouTube, because we've got recordings of these Wednesday Words, we've got recordings of the Poets Breakfast up there. There's also recordings of me doing some famous old Australian poetry up there as well, so you can check that out. And don't forget, every Saturday morning there's a Gyra Farmers and Craft Market here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame as well, from 8:30 till 12:30ish every Saturday, and it's indoors, so even if it's cold and windy and blowy weather and everybody's freezing, you can still come up here and enjoy the market. Hello Saul, welcome. Wow, we are 5 now. Alright, so moving right along with this week I've drawn a portrait for the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame gallery out there, or the Poets Gallery, of Les Murray. So when you get a chance, go and check out the gallery out there, or come on up here and check it out to Gyra. Les was born in 17th of October 1938, and he passed away on the 29th of April 2019. He was 80 years old. He was an Australian poet, anthologist and a critic, a pretty rough critic of the government for sure. His career spanned over 40 years and he published nearly 30 volumes of poetry, as well as 2 verse novels and collections of his prose writings. Translations of Murray's poetry have been published in 11 languages and all around the world. And also the National Trust of Australia rated him as one of the 100 Australian living treasures in 1997. That was when he was still alive, of course. This one is the cows on killing day by Les Murray. The cows on killing day. All me are standing on feed. The sky is shining. All me have just been milked. Treats all tingling still from that dry, toothless sucking by the chilly mouths that gasp loudly in, and never breathe out. All me standing on feed, move the feed inside me. One smells of needing the bull, that heavy, urgent me. The back climber who leaves me humped, straining, but light and peaceful again, with crystalline moving inside me. Standing on wet rock, being milked, assuages the calf sorrow in me. Now the me who mounts on me, hopping to signal the bull. The tractor comes trotting in its grumble. The heifer human bounces on top of it, and cud comes with the tractor. Big rolls of tight, dry feed, lucerne, clovers, buttercup grass that's been bitten and never swallowed, yet is cud. She walks up over the tractor and down it comes, roll on roll, and all me following it, eating it, and dropping the good pats. The heifer human smells of needing the bull human and is angry. All me look nervously at her as she chases the dog, me, dreaming of horning dead our enemy of the light loose tongue. Me to jam him in his squeals, me facing every way, spreading out over food. One me is still in the yard, the place skinned of feed, me old and sore-boned, little milk in that me now, licks at the wood. The oldest bull human is coming. Me in the peed yard, a stick goes out from the human and cracks like the whip. Me shivers and falls down with the terrible, the blood of me coming out behind an ear. Me, that other me, down and dreaming in the bare yard. All me come running. It's like the hot part of the sky that's hard to look at. That this now happens behind wood in the raw yard. A shining leaf, like off the bitter gum tree, is with the human. It works in the neck of me, and the terrible floods out, swamped and frothy. All me makes a roar, some leaping stiff need, trying to horn that worst horror. The wolf at the calves is the bull human. Horn the bull human. But the dog and the heifer human drive all me away. Looking back, the glistening leaf is still moving. All of dry old me is crumpled like the hills of feed, and a slick me, like a huge calf, is coming out of me. The carrion stinking dog, whose calf of human and wolf is chasing eating little blood things. The humans scatter, and all me runs away over smells toward the sky. It is, isn't it? I know, but it's like just really like cows on killing day.
Oh, it's disturbing.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It could almost like make you become a vegan.
Oh, absolutely.
It's all right. It's okay. I'm part of the elite and the New World Order Global Great Reset. So we're all going to be vegan and own nothing very soon.
Reminded me of Martin Boyd paintings, I don't know.
Can I say that on Facebook? Probably not. No, you probably can. You can say whatever I want if it's a joke.
I think you already have.
No, it's a joke. Qualified by saying it's a joke.
Prescient observation there,
Yeah. Okay, so Les Murray. Well, and I'm sure Ashley can speak about him after when you.
Yeah, I'll say
pop up.
something quickly about it.
Yeah. Look, there's one more. I'd like to do Henry Lawson, The Wanderlight, because I did this last week. I'm trying to memorise it.
Is it a bit lighter?
No, it's Henry Lawson, of course not.
Unfortunately, no. But that's all right. We'll finish on a light note tonight. I've got some, like a Space Monsters party.
Excellent.
Look at that. Look at that. That's a lovely poster I made up, see? With little Space Monsters on it.
And this last one just developing.
Oh, well, I'll have a look.
There's the picking up.
Oh, the dreams. I'll be bouncing around my kneecaps.
Yeah, it's a little kids one. So anyway, they'll finish off tonight later on. And also Ollie the Octopus, which is it's about an octopus giving everyone the finger because they only have like on each tentacle. You know, they've only got one finger, an octopus, right? Yeah, so every time you do that as an octopus, you're giving everyone, you wave to someone and
Like this, but they just don't have the opposing thumb.
something like that, okay, The Wanderlight by Henry Lawson. And they heard the tent poles clatter, and the fly in twain was torn. 'Tis the soiled rag of a tatter of the tent where I was born. And what matters it, I wonder, brick or stone or calico, or a bush you were born under when it happened long ago. And my beds were camp beds and tramp beds and damp beds, and my beds were dry beds on drought-stricken ground, hard beds and soft beds and wide beds and narrow, for my beds were strange beds the wide world round. And the old hag seemed to ponder, 'twas my mother told me so, and she said that I would wander where but few would think to go. He will fly the haunts of tailors, he will cross the ocean wide, for his fathers they were sailors, all on his good father's side. Behind me, before me, oh my roads are stormy, the thunder of skies and the sea's sullen sound, the coaster of or liner, the English or foreign, the stateroom or steerage, the wide world round. And the old hag, she seemed troubled as she bent above the bed. He will dream things and he'll see things to come true when he's dead. He will see things all too plainly, and his fellows will deride, for his mothers, they were gypsies all on his good mother's side. And my dreams are strange dreams, are daydreams, are grey dreams, and my dreams are wild dreams, and old dreams and new. They haunt me and daunt me with fears of the morrow. My brothers, they doubt me, but my dreams come true. And so I was born of fathers, where ice-bound harbours are, men whose strong limbs never rested, whose blue eyes saw afar, till gold one left the ocean, seeking over plain and hill. And so I was born of mothers whose deep minds were never still. I rest not, 'tis best not, the world is a wide one, and caged for an hour I pace to and fro. I see things and dree things and plan while I'm sleeping. I wander forever and dream as I go. I've stood by Table Mountain on the Lion at Cape Town and watched the sunset falling from the roads that I marked down. And I looked out with my brothers from the heights behind Bombay, gazing north and west and eastward over roads I'll tread someday. For my ways are strange ways, and new ways and old ways, and deep ways and steep ways, and highways and low. I'm at home and ease on a track that I know not, and restless and lost on a road that I know. Henry Lawson, 1902. The Wander Light. I can wander around, yeah. Okay,
I've been everywhere, man. Well, isn't it?
it is, it's a lovely like that, yeah, it's all around, yeah. Mark, would you like to come and do yours?
I would.
Okay. All right, Mark Spencer, well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll preface all this by saying that I've been on a bit of a journey in the last 3 months. I thought here living in Guyra, in New England, I would attempt to reach out to other members of the LGBTI community and form a true community within a community. And having very little experience of Facebook, only ever just looking at a few friends and family's pictures, never posting a thing, I've been on this journey, the Facebook journey, and I've become a little obsessed. Anyway, with trying to build this community, well, it hasn't turned out as I wished. This community's so far been a real flop. But I am being embraced by all those LGBTIQ people who live in countries where they'll string you up by the gallows. And they're most keen to communicate and to contribute. Whereas all the Aussies are sitting in front of their porn and ordering in pizza to be delivered, and they come to no functions and they contribute nothing, and they just take for granted the liberties we enjoy in our society. Whereas all these people from the Middle East and from other communities are just so anxious to contribute to what's become a little international community. So, yeah, it's interesting. Well, I got something, I never really understood it, but my feed, my Facebook feed, and now I know that there is such a thing as a Facebook feed, and I just found myself reading some poetry. And I'll let you guys, I won't tell you what I thought, because I don't know how much of this poetry is original, because none of it's titled, and it's been posted by somebody who's since become a Facebook acquaintance. And his name is Ram. Now, if you know anything about the Hindu religion, Ram is the protector. He is the protector who's going to make sure that Vishnu, the destroyer, is held at bay. I think Vishnu is the destroyer, is that right? Vishnu, and there's three incarnations of the main god. Vishnu, Ram, and a third, who I can't recall. Anyway.
Shiva is this.
Shiva. Is Shiva the destroyer?
Yeah.
Vishnu's the
balancer.
Oh, thank you.
I'll look
Yeah.
it up. I'll go and get rusty.
What you're doing now.
My Hindu pantheon.
Excellent. Well, these have been posted by Ram. What you want in life is always where you get it. And sometimes you have to accept what life gives you in life. I've lost everything I wanted, but now I've lost my desire. Sat in the crowd, laughter can be false. But tears shed in solitude can never be false. The most in life great weapon is courage. If you have courage from the heart, even if you're alone, you can walk in the path of life. Sorry works when a mistake is made, but not when trust is broken. So in life, make mistakes, but never break trust. Because forgive is easy, but forgetting and trusting again is sometimes impossible. Forget all the sorrows you've experienced in your life for a while and enjoy your day. Now these are being related by a man whose first language is Nepalese. It's a dialect of Hindi. And he's writing or relating these in English. And he is actually on a peacekeeping mission, making sure that our Middle Eastern brothers and sisters don't kill each other on the Israeli-Lebanese border. So he's doing great work. The meeting was short, but the memories was very long. If you get it, you have to lose it. Why bother that you didn't get what you wanted in the first place? The mind is a grave where thousands of dreams arise and die. If you don't have money, you can't take care of pocket with your own hands, but relatives, neighbours and friends are far away. Teach me to laugh in life because I've learned to cry from birth. I don't understand why density allowed to some people to meet when there is no way for them together. So many people are together but not in love. So many people in love but not together. When you fully trust someone, without any doubt, you finally got one of two results. A person of life or a lesson for life. You came to this life alone and you will leave this life alone. All the people that come and go from your life are messenger. They came to your life to teach you lessons and create memories and moved on. You came to this life alone and you will leave this life alone. When people meet new people, they forget the old people. But when new people hurt their hearts, then the old ones come to mind. If you are right, don't prove anything. Stay true. One day time will prove itself what you are. It is enough to have a decent life. I don't have big dreams and hopes. It's enough to live a worthy life. I have no big dreams and hopes. Just a decent life. I don't have big dreams and hopes. It's enough to have a decent life. I don't have big dreams and hopes. When people are in deep pain, deeply hurt, then the solitary place is lovely and they cry remembering the past. No matter how happy the world, if the mind is sad, it seems lonely. Everyone gets angry, but there is no one to cheat on everyone's destiny.
same guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know whether they're original or whether.
I like your whimsical tone and delivery because they're very whimsical tone, but deep at the same time.
They are, aren't they?
Mm.
I'm trying to put some effect to them.
No, you don't need to. You just
They're almost
you're
like-
doing it as you.
They're almost like, in the Facebook world, they're almost like memes.
They are, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
In that sort of.
No matter how strange the mind is, even if you're not satisfied with small things, it hurts suddenly. Not every silence means support. Sitting in one place does not mean waiting. Many people fight for eyes, but there is no love in every book. People who have met many times in the twists and turns of life are haunted by the memory of the people they met once. And just as death is certain after birth, so is separation after reunion. The pain of separation is hundreds of times more harmful than the joy of the moment of reunion. If I die, the war zone, box me up and send me home. Put my medal on my chest, tell my mum I did my best. Tell my dad not to bow, he won't get tension from me now. Tell my brother to study perfectly, key of my bike will be his permanently. Tell my sister not to be upset. Her brother will take long sleep after sunset. Tell my national not to cry. If you get it, you have to lose it. Why bother that you didn't get what you wanted here?
Sounds like a very fraught soul.
Here we go. Is uncertain and joys living life. There is defeat and victory matters. There is sorrow and there is happiness. God has shown great virtue these days. I got a chance to understand the selfish character hidden inside me. The advantage of having hard times is the so-called selfish people are running away. The road is never straight. After a while, the turn comes. Life is like a road. Just walk with patience. A pleasant turn will surely come. Days come when people are scared of people. In the same way, who made the world stunned inside the four rooms of such a life today. As long as there is life, there is life. After death, where did anyone take it? People used to say that money is everything. Whose life was saved by money today? The rich and the poor are the same. The disease itself brought equality today. If the day don't allow us to see each other, memories will. If my eye can't see you, my heart will never forget you. Distances doesn't matter if you really love someone. What matters most, your honesty and trust for that relationship to work out. I just find this so hauntingly beautiful. But when I've read them, what's your reaction? Oh,
Yeah, lovely. It's lovely. That's
but I thought these are
They're very deep philosophy. Well, they're just someone's lot of introspection. Yeah.
And my first reaction
A lot
was,
of power.
oh my God, these are poems to slit your throat by.
No.
Your own throat.
No.
And
No.
no, it's certainly deep reflection.
They are. Yeah.
And they're beautifully worded. I think. Yeah,
It
that's.
expresses his longing. That's.
So we've had really great chats. So you actually, I meet really interesting people from all over the world. And you know what? I've met a lot of people in the Arab lands, the Arab-speaking peoples. And you know what I've observed? They are just like us.
So don't out them.
They're just like us, you know. They're just, you know, they even look like us. The people we see on television are not representative. You know, they're just not. They look like us, they've got dreams like us. It's just, they want the same things as us. It's so interesting.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Wants to be like.
Thanks, Mark.
That's grand.
As I said before, I was going to,
Did we solve the Vishnu?
No.
Oh yes, Shiva is the god of creation and destruction. Brahma's the one who does that.
Balances and protects.
Controls ultimately, yeah.
Oh.
But
There you
the
go.
triadic, they all do where they're intermeshed in their Ganesh, their jobs in Hindu.
There are three incarnations, aren't they, of the god?
All right, well, this next one's called, it's by Jan Karp, and I'm reading this one out. And it's called Sparrow Warrior.
Like Father, Son, and Holy Ghost are separate but the same.
A tiny frame, sparrow wings, small movements, matching tiny striding legs, moving so quickly with purpose. Shopping, family visits, loving her, mum, dad, family, feeling, talking, more and more family, connecting her medical treatments, facing a never-changing diagnosis. Tiny, but not lost, directing life, painting the house, obsession with living, no time off for illness, her covered head with grace, meeting life with peace. Does life end? Do those who remember stop remembering? Never. Forever loved by family, knowing past tragedies, meeting together, another passing. We group, we witness, a large family grieving and knowing at the same time that Tracy, with courage, was a celebration of a woman who lived with cancer to succumb only on her own terms. Shout out Sparrow Warrior. It was called Sparrow Warrior. Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much, Jan Carr. It is a bit sad, but like, all right. Well, hey, time is like a trip to the toilet. A long time is like a trip to the toilet. A long line to wait will spoil it. Or you might walk straight in and find an overflowing bin that hasn't been cleaned for a while. Some times and toilets are vile. Some visits are quick, other times will make you sick. Then at times you'll feel queer, spraying vile diarrhea, vomiting it on your knees. Or on time and clean like Japanese toilets with technology that warm your bum as you pee. Sit and happily contemplate. Check the time. Oh shit, I'm late. Yeah. Okay, there's a bit more lightness to the night. Yeah, time is like a trip to the toilet. That's by me.
Still heavy.
Yeah. It's a shit one. Well, we always bring up something fecal or ale, no? We're at the end of it. All right. Have you got something to read?
I didn't bring any.
No? Ashley, yes. Ashley and no. Yeah.
So I'm here to have a listen and a bit of a fun time.
Well, I met Les in a big room, a very big room. And people had said to me outside, go into that room, the poet Les Murray's there. So I opened the door and walked in, and he was seated in a chair, and I travelled across this long space. And of course I'll never forget this, and I walked up before him, looked into his eyes, and He breathed heavily because he was in a chapter of his life when he had those problems with his weight, and we communicated. So one day I'll make it into a short story and read it here about what happened in those seconds. I brought 3 rulers today because I am obsessed by rulers. One stands for H, hypothesis. One stands for implications of the hypothesis. And one stands for, which one have I got to go? The middle one. And one stands for parameters coming out from the hypothesis and the implications. And I always think so, like this. The hypothesis really ultimately is that we measure or must measure or have the urge to be empowered with the measure. The implication is that we need to maybe 1 million times or 10 million times do the exactitude towards. But if you read philosophy, when we get up towards 1 million times, hunting the implication from the hypothesis, we discover that we can never have an absolute exact reading of the measure. Just read Charles Sanders Peirce if you're interested in that. Last but not least, parameter. So we've had the hypothesis of measuring with all it may be. We've got the implications. As we act through, we discover that there's no absolute perfect measure. Oh, woe is me, because I want God to be an exact measure of something or other. And the parameters, of course, are how long is it going to take you to measure from A to B 1 million times? 1,000,001 times. So that's my philosophy talk for today with my 3 rulers. Every morning I get up and I play with my 3 rulers, and I have a white sheet and I do the tetractise. You know, dot, 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 and I've got a pyramid with 10 points. And also I love the sound dot, dot, dot. Dot, 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 dot. That's how I wake up and keep myself amused.
You've never thought that might be a little dot?
I don't live in a spaceship, but I live in a room that was built in 1860, and it still has gas fixtures on the wall. And I just sport myself in that space that is of, let us measure, 160 years almost of duration. And it was a non-temperance hotel. It was a grammar school. People sat in there doing their Latin parsing, and I do much ruder things, but it's now a very famous pub for St Kilda. So my first poem are probably the most famous words in Korean history and culture. A very short poem written by Admiral E. Sun-shin when he had to stand on an island and look into the moonlight, and he wrote these words. By moonlight I sit alone in the lookout on Hansan Isle. My sword is on my thigh. I am submerged in deep despair. From somewhere the shrill note of a pipe. Will it sever my heartstrings? And I will add in brackets to this poem. Shortly after he had to confront a Japanese armada of 500 ships with 13 of his own, talking about measure. And as all people in Asia know, he won the battle.
I've heard that story.
One of the most extraordinary moments of warrior duress.
Timing and finesse and...
Yes, and a whirlpool. Yeah. So I have 2 more things. Yes, when he confronted the 500, he had the luck of the whirlpool and the tides in that alley as you're swinging around the southeast corner.
It was
The Japanese Navy wanted to come up into the rivers going to Seoul and Pyongyang and reinforce quickly with maritime food and forces. And Admiral Sun-shin had to block them at the west southwest corner, rocky corner. And the 500 had to go through a defile, and he'd worked out that he could catch them on the swing of the tide, nearly destroyed the whole fleet, evidently.
What century was this in?
That's around about 1600. There are famous movies and lots of things you can watch
Wow.
if you're interested in the shenanigans of Admiral Yi Sun Shin, who's probably the most famous maritime hero of all. Even the Japanese venerated him because they thought, well, not even, they thought it was just wonderful that someone would come at them with 13 ships and win. Yeah, it's true. Anyway, that's the Japanese, isn't it?
Yeah.
At 70, I wrote this, at 70. At 70, talk to the cloud. It does not talk back. With an eyedropper by the sounding sea, still here, nibble-like between fingers, drops on droplet, ocean soon. That'll take me a bugger amount of time at 70. By ancient count, time tide to go. Cannot touch either bank now. The bar across the way, splendid deeps, entertain with sovereign power. Pretentious word, sovereign, but oh, shine away, sovereign. I love to use that word there in that blank moment of becoming. Now, with whisperings at the shore, seers at 70, talking to the clouds. And here I have an outpouring from elderly Bazo to John and Ono. Evidently, John and Ono told me that I should bring his thoughts forward from the great Bazo, because you'll see by the end that Bazo wasn't able to use the postal service and bring it to us in that sense. I'm upset thinking about Admiral Sun Shin. Here we are joking and reading poetry from the long ago, but it's no joke of going out to battle with 13 little boats against an armada of 500. Thanks. And I have family reasons for being aware of those sorts of odds and exigencies. And the death that comes from that sort of...
Oh, right. Okay, so it's not battle within the family.
My dad's histories.
Oh, right.
Okay, here's Jono's outpourings of mid-November in the year of our Lord 2021. What's the large bag? Bazo was nonchalant. What's the large bag? I told him so. Oh, well, this is what I'm writing to you about, and the masses at Gyro Poetry Hall of Fame. God bless them. The masses, I said, yes, the masses. As of this moment, whatever a moment may be, I have not received Bazo Baz's epistle of import, but he did exhort. If perchance, he went on, with chance on chance, my epistolary skills miss this nigh on mid-November week, I demand you portray my accurate thoughts accurately for the edification, did he say alcation, back to submarines and dirigibles, his idea fixate, as one may fix it, or fuck us, Bazo rarely swears, so I think I misheard and he would have said alcus, or was it edification? A slight lisp of enunciation changes so much in this world. Indeed, holy and holier wars have of course been caused by such mispronouncements. I must say, and he did, Bazo, that this bag is a symbol. I should have brought a bag. I had planned to, but time got away. I must say, Bazo said that this bag is a symbol of English civilization per se. We'll have this represent the bag. A symbol of English civilization per se. It represents what was said to be up and down Gyra's main street in imperial days, part of our scattered domain. To what or whom or where are you referring particularly, Bazo, I said. Particularly, Lali, Bazo is undergoing, you'll be pleased to know, therapy. So this lali fixation involving him with the word particularly can be cured. We wish him well, do we not, Mark? At this challenge, on my part, he slowed his gait, Bazo. He looked enigmatically towards the Japanese cafe opposite the real estate and booksellers in the mall, in Beatty Street Mall. And he took a seat, swinging down his sack. Oh, he was impressive. John, no. He looked at me. John, no. Here we have the English Empire's equivalent. Its parallel with its great language. He had, Webster's and Oxford dictionaries in the bag. Words gathered from all angles of the spinning, spanning orb. How he pronounced the word orb. I loved that. I love when Bazo's getting worked up. It has, to quote my uncle, who danced once in a backup chorus line for Rocky Horror Picture Show, and tissing passion. Anyway, Uncle has designed, under Baz's transfiguring influence, a fridge magnet, ADHA, Armadale Dirigible Hostelry Association, to remind him to purchase inaugural tickets for the first tourist flight, Adriftment Aloft, as Bazo calls it, Adriftment Loft, over our great granite encampments. I think he means escarpments, but his S's often go astray. Yes, Bazo, why are you glaring at the Japanese cafe and swinging your bag impassionately? Bazo looked at me with enthralment, his gazed eyes hazed. It is Tortext 2. Tortext 2? Yes, I'm going to inform you of the great sugar rush of history. The great sugar rush of history, I perplex? Yes. In the great sugaring of empire, we sailed forthing and other things to enrich lands, our dominions of minions, with plantations of cane grasses. And we brought back to little foggy London tons upon tons of sugar, processed sugar. Laden with sucrose, we reached and worshipped towards the sun as our minions, our little slave fellows, bent and worshipped for us, cutting the long grains and bringing us sweet succour through the dark winter times. Reaping back down in work lines of sweaty, muscular power, harvesting the joy of chocolate, sugar gums, jams, coated flosses, toffees, cakes, booze. Need a lot of sugar for booze, Jono always informs me as he dips into his bucket of port. With difficult winters, our boat building needed these surges of sucrose energy. So sugar charged, we jaunt towards the spring horizons of conquest, aggrandizement and building betterment building empire. This built us. John, this built us. This wonderful indulgence in sugar and spreading the sucrose splendour to the corners of the world and the bloodstreams of the everybody, urging for this sudden rush of ecstasy. Well, the rules-based order, we've now got towards the rules-based order. The rules-based international order, piped Bazo with emphasis after me. He quietened, particularly, momentarily, and the seaweed eaters over the way. He pointed towards the Japanese cafes, very racist, and I won't be putting him down because he's a man of splendid eloquence. And let us continue with what he wanted me to impart to you. He pointed towards the Japanese restaurant and he said, "The seaweed eaters over the way there." "You mean the Japanese cafe?" I said. "Yes, we expanded their habits. We forced them to open their door to our ways, our trade." "Ah, the sugar rush," I said. "Yes, I had the idea by then. The sugar gush through the world's bloodstreams and the delight we've brought them through beverages of in and out to intoxication, the delights of booze-induced fantasy. We've brought this to the world. The delights of fantasy, the alcohol rivers of sugar-laden dream. Yes, it has given the conquered and the downtrodden a tonic of hope and focus of economic activity, us too." "But, Bazo," I said, you hardly drink. "Nor the Japanese either." "Well, that's not the point, is it, John? No. It's not the point, but many of us pretend to. And there is some truth in that, is there not?" Bazo then arorted, he likes that word, a malgup of exhorted, authored and tooted-rooted. Take your pick on the triadic lineup. He arorted, Bazo went on, yes, this sweet tooth, sugared delicacy gave our empire, God bless the Queen, he loves to intone at that point, God bless the Queen, its dynamic, its reason for being. We went out on the sugar rush, we came back on the sugar rush, and we gave to the world new products of gooey, toffee-like yummification. I saw endless ships in my mind's eye then as I looked towards Basil. I saw endless ships windlass up the Thames, being unloaded with treacly drums and silos of white processed saccharin, wending their tides back out down the Thames, out into the Empire's ports, carrying holds crammed with many tons of sweet confectedness. At this point, Bazo, he loved his bag, he was clutching it. At this point, Bazo looked ruefully towards the young uniformed schoolgirls, parting their sticky rice clusters with adroitly wielded chopsticks, seated next to the Japanese cafe. Hungry, he chortled back at me, hungry. One bebadged prefect had at her elbow a pristine, unopened edition, long may it remain so, of Conrad's Heart of Darkness. This was a moment of great pathos. Bazo was looking agitated, and I realised he was gulfed, maybe engulfed, and I could not, on his weekly epistle, word upon word, letter upon letter, bring to you the sheer degree of chaos that was engulfing his visage. On my doorstep, I waited all week for his letter, portraying these tragic events. He told me the headline would be Sugar Rush. I opened the door every day, but no postman had delivered. So I must outline this to you now and bring things to a conclusion. So here am I to tell the tale of his Sugar Rush, saccharin. I can't read what I wrote there. Speechifications. Ooh, such states of being must be painful. No wonder you need sugar. He rushed off around the National Bank corner, down opposite the New England, a pub opposite Richardson's. The National Bank were erecting a giant red star, but it wasn't for Christmas, or was it? When I got there and turned the corner, no Bazo to be seen. But there were 3 young nurses unpacking tables, banners, green boxes for a Western End mall display. And the banner read, "Free Diabetes Travelling Clinic through till Friday." Seeing me concerningly looking around for a dog or a friend or a taxi or trying to escape the big red star from the National Logo Bank wall, one of the girls approached and said, "Hey, your friend left without giving us a name or forwarding address." That was a good bag.
Oh, how's this therapy going? Sorry. It's lovely.
I'll bring a letter one day from his therapist.
So they got a specimen from him. You just don't know where to deliver the results.
God save the Queen.
Well, that's fascinating. The sugar that was great.
It is.
It's historical.
Yeah.
And as the United States is the most sugar rush country on
Oh, by the by, I don't know what's coming up on here, I'm cutting over you on this, but if you go and look at the statistics for the last 400 years of sugar consumption in England, it is startling compared to all the world. A proportional analysis of sugar bloodstreams in London for the last 4 centuries, as they got this empire, started to rush this stuff into their addictive culture. Is truly
I was
startling.
just thinking Elon Musk must be loading up his rocket with Mars bars.
well, check it out here.
You can conquer this world, and you'll conquer that one too.
It's sugar. What Mark Twain used to say, this is very interesting addendum to that. Mark Twain used to say, "Westward the jug of empire takes its way." Westward the jug of empire, full of sugar, whiskey and booze, takes its way.
Yeah.
Very profound, Mark Twain. I'm glad you had a laugh. I had a rush.
Oh,
A rush for Ash.
but I am a tad worried about his welfare.
I was going to the street now to control that obsession every time he gets to particularly. You can't stop the lolly part. Okay.
Alright, well this one was written only one day ago. I went out early in the morning and the sky was really blood red.
You laugh?
Oh.
And it was kind of spooky, like it was really, like, you know how they say red sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. Well, it was like one of those red sky sunrises. And I took this photo of the sky, but in the middle of it, out there, was the butcher shop. And that's where the inspiration of this comes from. Yeah. 10 million souls went marching down to hell as they called, I'm going to start that again, sorry. The butcher shop. 10 million souls went marching down to hell as the one they called the fool rang the warning bell. The sky was blood red early that morning dawning. The shepherd was called a fool for sounding a warning. 10 million souls of blindly misled sheep went walking off to hell, went walking in their sleep. When the vet arrived in town, he played a little trick. He said, if you'd care to follow me, I'll stop you getting sick. I have a magic potion that'll give you a long life. It'll protect you from diseases that are running rife. 10 million sheep went walking in their sleep, all except the black one who was named Bo Peep. Bo Peep asked the question, why should I follow you? I'm sceptical of what you say. Can you prove it's true? We're doing it for the health of the sheep station. As they passed the shepherd, they scoffed in indignation. All the shepherd could do was watch them walk away to the valley of the wolves, who were well fed that day. The vet was actually a wolf in a vet's disguise who misled the sheep and deceived them with his lies. The only ones remaining were the foolish shepherd and black sheep who questioned their reality and didn't fall asleep. 10 million sheep kept the wolves well fed. Don't believe the lies of wolves or you'll end up dead. And on the same note, it was the same morning. It's inspired. A red sky morning is a warning. A red sky noon, good weather soon. A red sunrise is bringing wet weather, and a red sunset means let's all get together.
Well, it only goes to show that Gara Poets Hall of Fame is challenged vegetarianly.
And we've got to change that 10 million sheep to 26 million.
26 million.
I think it's 26 million.
Oh.
26 million sheep.
No.
26 million
Oh, there
Aussies.
used to be like 40 million sheep in Australia at one stage. Yeah, we had more sheep than New Zealand by far.
I know I shouldn't be reckoning. I did 10 years teaching, 12 years teaching at Walgett.
Yeah.
They really overdid Walgett. Walgett was an immensely wealthy place once when sheep could run at the high level of production and the soils were fresher. And they overdid it. But there were real fortunes going in and out of Walgett.
Oh, same everywhere. Like the farmers drove Rolls Royces and Jags in their paddocks.
At Walker they did.
All around.
Yes,
Where the
Walker.
sheep, where they rode off the
You
sheep.
get photos in the History Museum of Walker Main Street 1930 with 6 stunning Mercedes all lined up together opposite the old tin cinema.
Yeah.
6
I know
big,
that place.
top of the techno range Mercedes 1930 in that main street at Walker. That's where the money's.
The next one is the pinch. And this was written Well, I'll read to you because I was on a bus going down the Pinch on a Monday morning and it was misty and rainy and wet.
Yes, I just missed you in town. You've gone up around the corner when came up off from the parking to see you, but you'd left the bench.
Ah, okay.
I wrote a poem about that.
2021, mist and rain on the Highlands, travelling down the infamous Pinch in a coach. 1869,
Yes.
mist and rain on the Highlands, Captain Thunderbolt, Fred Ward, waiting in a cave for the Cobb and Co. coach. 2021, passing the old Cobb and Co. coach house in a coach, and it's still cold and misty outside.
Oh, good.
Clouds,
Oh.
a lazy, hazy grey, green fields smile today. Slow creeks begin to flow, perky trees sprout and grow. Lambs' heads down all graze. Wallabies enjoy cooler days. Rain of spring brings many things. Birds sing and the ears ring.
Yeah. That's interesting. And everything rings in that poem, doesn't it? It's about ringing and
It
returning
is.
to
Yeah, yeah.
the psychic image of the warrior on his horseback, the rebel.
And that was sort of how I come across this place. I left Armidale on a Monday morning. Well, yeah, it was a Monday morning, 8:30 or 6 o'clock. Driving up the Pinch. It was February, cold, like 12 degrees or something.
In February, the whole month of the year.
Yeah. And so I went out to Thunderbolt's cave, and I went for this little walk out to the cave, and then came on back, and it was just this incredible little walk out there, and in this lovely piece of native forest that's a road reserve, and because it's been a road reserve, it's really well preserved. As like native grasses, native flowers and stuff like that. Anyway, then I came back in and I drove into Gaia and down this street, and I thought, well, this town looks like it's got a lot of potential. That's a polite way of saying, fucking lot of empty shops in this place. And they're full now. So, yeah, since I've come along 20 months, I think there's only one shop that's pretty much empty at the moment. That's the newsagent that's been renovated and stuff eventually, yeah. So, yeah.
I popped into that cave, and lo and behold, there was a family there who were actually related to Fred Ward.
Yeah.
They were there to see.
Well, there's
the
a lot of people on the Highlands.
My AEA at Walden was a ward,
Yeah.
and he was from the bloodline with a couple of the main Aboriginal girlfriend Fred had out at Bundoora Way.
Yeah, well, his girlfriend, because he was Fred Wood, Captain Thunderbolt, was in prison on Cockatoo Island in Sydney Harbour, and she swam across with stuff so he could escape. She swam across
Was
the
her name
Cockatoo Island.
Ruby? Was her
I
name
think it was
Ruby?
Mary, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and like 3 nights in a row or something, she did that to get him the things to escape. So, yeah.
Wow.
All right, this is one it's about the universe. It's just like, it was just sort of like a going to sleep kind of, well, I'm just going to write something before I go to bed. The stream flows from the source like a flow of consciousness. The universe is experiencing itself as everything. Consciousness in all beings, from humans to flies. Consciousness of galaxies, stars, suns, planets and moons, trees, grass, mushrooms, rocks, and water has a memory. Connected through a conscious field of mind or thought, everything everywhere, vibratory toroidal vortexes, lighter and darker than the other side of the moon. I am, you are, we are, all is the way for the universe to experience birth and rebirth from an infinite number of perspectives. We are, all of us together, are the universe singing the same song, but in a slightly different key and notes on the scales. Vibing, rhyming, scheming, memeing, proselytizing, becoming exactly as self-described in our spoken and written word. Dance and kick your feet to the beat of your own drums, build your own sandcastles, exercise so you can play well, and make sure you eat lots of nuts, fruits and vegetables, because the universe doesn't really want to feel pain. Do it with a smile on your face, a laugh and love from the heart.
And get more sleep.
And get more sleep, you've been reading like the 7 Commandments. I imagine he said a prostitute then, a proselytizing poet.
Lucretius would love you.
Yeah.
Lucretius on nature, yeah.
I get that.
You're very far away from Lucretius. So far you're next door.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic book on nature. It's one of the main texts of all Western civilization.
Okay. Okay. Well, like, because we got an octopus. This is okay. Ollie the octopus. Okay. Language warning. I'm going to mention the word really. Ollie the octopus was feeling mad and silly, so he waved one tentacle at his Uncle Billy, and he waved another tentacle at his Auntie Millie, and he gave one finger to an octopus named Jilly. Lily and Nilly and also Tilly also copped it from Ollie, as well as Polly Octopus and also Molly. When down the road came Octopus Wally. That was when Ollie got silly and waved his willy, and all the octopuses got mad at Ollie. Billy, Millie, Jilly, Lily, Nilly, Tilly, Polly, Molly, Wally. Silly Ollie. That's it, yeah.
Which part of an octopus can be such an addendum?
Exactly, right?
Willy, lolly, lol octopus.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's that, isn't it? Yeah. All right. Ooh, I don't know. That's too long. I'm just going to do one more for, and then I'm going to finish off with the monsters party. Oh, Steve's just sent me a photo. I wonder if he's sent me a bit of poetry to read out. He could have. Oh, he has!
Oh, great.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, spectral spirits.
No, it's not at all. It's a public service.
The glasses are shaking.
No, he hasn't sent me poetry. He's just sent me some propaganda from himself.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're not going to read that one out. It's raining here in Gyra. The thunder's thundering, and I'm Thundercloud. We have an opportunity to create a new society. I guess because everything, with what's going on around the world, we actually do have an opportunity to create something new. Yeah, we'll have a big reset. Yeah, we'll call it the big reset.
We've crossed the line. What line do you refer to? The 1,330 metre line.
Yeah, we have. We're up above Gyra. Yeah, the tsunamis won't reach us up here. We have an opportunity to create a new society, woken from a slumber like discovering society. New direction, changing course. Now is the time to transform the world with a new paradigm. There will be times when we get kicked in the guts. Squirrels collect and store their winter nuts. A new path starts when another road ends. There can be hazards around familiar bends. Creative imagination and a fresh mindset. Act on creative impulses before you forget. Do what you love and see what you create. Adversity brings change and also something great. Welcome to the new world with a new paradigm, the love paradigm, and now is the time. A parallel society, alternative and new, holistic and progressive, and do what you'd love to do. Holistic wellness centres, creative education, planting trees and also native bush regeneration. Nurturing the planet, make our new society. Drop the old destructive for the caring variety. Move from the cities to rural towns and land. Opportunities are here to make our life grand. Leave behind the toxic life, making you ill. When the time comes, you can take the red pill. Step out from the matrix and walk your own path. You can build up your own fire on your own hearth. One door closes so you can go your own way down a new path to create a brighter day. Now that was interesting because that was written 5 days ago and it was inspired by, actually it was written, must have been Thursday last week, yeah. And it was inspired by a bunch of people who came to me last week all telling me that they lost their jobs because they weren't double vaxxed.
Oh, who were they?
So there's a teacher out at Ball Blair and
A teacher?
yeah, and her partner who does info in the education, like in IT on it,
Right.
in the education department, as well as someone else, a really good, like, dedicated Steiner teacher that's been given the arse. And
Never to be re-employed or?
I don't know. Anyway, they sort of came to me wondering if there was anything they could do about it. I don't know why they choose me, but anyway, like the roof blew off my house nearly 7 years ago on the 27th of November, and I walked up with my little boy, and I was a single dad, and a big box of fruit, and got home from work as an English as a second language teacher, and my other two boys walked down the side path and they said, "Dad, the roof blew off." And I said, "Well, that's a good opportunity for a change." And what do? You got your three sons in front of you, so you're not going to break down, but look on the bright side. And 3 days later, I bought a double-decker bus and collected books and gave them away and travelled and went travelling and then it broke down in Nimbin, which led me to write poetry, which led me here. So yeah.
And gave the boys that sort of stimulation.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Education, yeah.
So that's one reason why I'm here, because the roof blew off in a storm, and it ultimately led me to the meaning of that poem, because often we get stuck in these really comfortable chairs, and it's only when like the leg breaks that we realise, oh geez, I need to actually go and change my life because I'm not really satisfied with this comfortable chair because it's a bit broken now. Anyway, this couple that came in, the two teachers, I said, sometimes life gives you a big kick up the arse, and it's actually a really good thing because it means you take responsibility instead of, I said, so yeah, and that's what that was inspired by, that particular one.
Well, I don't know if this should go. No, it's not very dangerous talk, but some people think the system is so tough on all of this because behind the curtain they're worried of a real juncture puncture with global warming when the government is going to have to be a government and say to thousands of people, you go there to pick that crop or you go there to escape from this ecological thing. And the government will actually have to say, you go there and they're getting us ready for that exigency. Some people all over the world are doing
a practice run.
It's a bit of a practice run, as well as there are problems with COVID. But in Italy, they've just down the statistics. They've decided to only print the people who've died from, not with COVID, and they're down to 10% of the old statistics. Still very serious, but that equals about the road toll every year in Italy.
Yeah.
But it's still very serious. But it's The whole thing, well, there is something to what I just said about the governments are actually using it as a bit of a dress rehearsal. We hope not for a proper performance. That they're worried that global warming, I know you don't, but they're worried that it will just burst the bubble and they're just going to have to bring down real police control.
But I mean, this global warming, it didn't exist 5 years ago.
Look, what they're really worried about is that in 10 years the Arctic will not be. And if the Arctic is not there in 10 years, it's like a giant shield that reflects. And if it's gone, there'll be no shield reflecting. All that energy's just going to be soaking.
What were the Vikings like growing olive trees and Scandinavia was like Mediterranean climate?
Yeah, that's a bit exaggerated. I know,
To be honest, the shipping lines are really looking forward to that opening.
Well, the Russians and the Chinese will control that all on that territory. The Russians are building many big, heavy.
Yeah, they won't need canals. Alright, let's move right along. It's a Space Monsters party.
Big worry is rain.
Space Monsters.
Space Monsters party!
If the Arctic goes all that
How does Space Monsters throw a party? They plan it.
Really worrying.
Oh, no, yeah. How does Space Monsters get their baby to sleep?
Baby's wrong.
They rock it.
They what?
They rock it.
Rocket.
Rocket, like a rocket, yeah. Space Monsters here. Alright, the Space Monsters decided to have a monster ball. So he sent invitations out via space mail and a follow-up call. Space Monsters came from far and wide and also other dimensions by warping time and space and using their inventions. There were one-eyed, two-eyed monsters, scary, also hairy, big teeth, also no teeth, and one like a giant strawberry. They were drinking Monster Punch and eating Monster Chips when the family arrived from Beetlejuice on a fleet of monster ships. A fantastic monster party. No one would dare knock it, and when the baby monster cried, they all took turns to rock it. They held a monster beauty contest and everyone was in it, but the one named Pretty Ugly was always going to win it. The party was held on a planet with a 100-hour day. After the party finished, the Space Monsters teleported away, left behind empty monster cans and an awful mess, but all the Space Monsters agreed that that party was the very best. Space Monster Party. And on that, I'm going to call it a night here, unless anyone else. And don't forget, Fiore Musicale with Per Natus S, a concert of chorale and instrumental music on the 12th of December here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. You can get your tickets online. And thank you, everybody, in Facebook, YouTube world. And if you like that, subscribe, click, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, say, go and check out the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame in Guyra, because it's a really interesting kind of place. And you might even get a bit of poetry poured at you. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, poured at you.